One of the richest and smartest men in the history of this planet says that something's literally threatening civilization. We should probably not just dismiss it. But make no mistake, this woke virus is real and it ruins people's lives. What are they scared of? The Labour Party is based 2.8 miles away from his studio. His front benchers have an open invitation to come on to debate all of this.
Breaking tonight, the silence has been broken. Not by an answer, but by a riot. For months, we've watched Sir Keir Starmer and his front bench dodge interviews like political landmines. Piers, a man who interviewed the prime ministers of Israel and Australia and went to Ukraine to interview Zelensky, can't get an RSVP from Labour HQ, which is a mere 2.8 miles from his studio. Morgan keeps asking, what are they scared of? We know the answer now. The truth. The truth about a core Labour strategy, trying to normalize the woke agenda, while pretending the public doesn't care. Starmer's bizarre claim that 99.9% of women might not have penises, a quote that should have retired him on the spot, ignited a firestorm. But the real detonation came last night, in Parliament Square, when the debate over biology wasn't intellectual anymore, it was physical. The woke virus, as Elon Musk warned, is an anti-meritocratic force threatening civilization. And we've found the smoking gun proving the Labour Party didn't just suffer from it, they weaponized it. The spark wasn't Starmer's gaffe, it was the leak of Project Equinox. This was Labour's shadow policy for the next term, exposed in 217 pages stamped confidential and dropped anonymously onto a secure server. It details how Labour planned to award £2.4 billion in no-bid contracts to diversity compliance firms. The scandal? These contracts were structured to systematically strip funds from existing social care budgets, prioritizing ideological training over actual patient services. This was a naked heist. They needed to justify the cuts, so they blamed the legacy system. We can now confirm that 11,000 disability and veteran support records were deliberately purged from the national database under the guise of an equity audit. This wasn't oversight. This was a betrayal of the most vulnerable citizens in favor of a select, activist minority. This was the government selling common sense for woke capital. The rage wasn't over pronouns. It was over the money. The anger on the streets wasn't an ideological flashpoint. It was personal. The sound of a country realizing it had been sold for parts. For months, the public had been watching the government dodge and weave. At 7:43 p.m., the riot didn't start with violence, it started with silence. Hundreds of pensioners and veterans, victims of the Equinox cuts, gathered outside Westminster. No shouting, just banners listing the 11,000 deleted names. Then, a single ex-paratrooper, 74-year-old Ken, stepped forward. His quote became the battle cry of the night. "I gave my leg for this country. Now I sleep in my car because the money for my care went to a pronoun workshop. I won't move." When the riot police arrived, the crowd held their ground. Ken stood there, his back straight. A bottle arcs through the air. Glass meets concrete. Fire blooms outward. The scene shifts to chaos. Flares light up the night sky over Westminster, mixing with the smoke of burning barricades. Riot police form lines. The crowd, hundreds, then thousands, pushes back, chanting, "Resign, resign, no surrender." The line holds, then breaks. Tear gas hangs heavy over Parliament Square. The images flood social media faster than any government statement. TikTok, Telegram, Twitter. The traditional media stalls. The BBC shows a static shot. But your phone shows the truth. The people are at the gates. Inside number 10. Phones ring off the hook. Silence. They knew the Equinox leak was fatal. Around 11 p.m., they made their move. News feeds froze. Certain hashtags, #Equinox, #11K deleted, stopped refreshing. They were trying to choke the truth. They tried to blame foreign interference, a massive, coordinated attack by anti-democratic extremists. A lie. And the internet caught them instantly. Anonymous whistleblowers posted proof of the state-mandated digital censorship. Now, people weren't just angry about the contracts. They were furious about the cover-up. At 1:37 a.m., Starmer finally appeared, hours late. Pale, tie loose. "I want to assure the British people that everything is under control," he stammered. The problem? Behind him, through the window, the orange glow of a fire outside the Treasury flickered against the glass. He was selling calm, while London was visibly burning. The live stream cut out abruptly. Not a technical issue. No one believed him anymore. Then came the moment that changes everything. Parliament Square, 2:14 a.m. The smoke is clearing. The crowd is exhausted, but still there. A single police officer steps forward. He looks at his shield, the symbol of the state's authority, and places it on the ground. The metal edge taps softly against the stone. Surrendered. Then another. Then another. Within minutes, an entire row of shields lies abandoned. Officers walking away from their posts. Not running, not fighting. Just leaving. The footage goes viral in a single minute, when even the police have had enough. At 3 a.m., the government played its final hand. Armored vehicles. Soldiers, young, uncertain, roll into the streets. They face the crowd. But when the crowd sees them, they don't run. They stand. Because the soldiers, barely out of school, look exactly like the children the crowd was chanting to protect. The soldiers don't raise their weapons. They freeze. The true reckoning happened in Parliament. As a lone MP, Rosie Duffield, known for her stand on basic biology, tried to speak. She was heckled into silence by her own front bench. But then, in the gallery, old Ken, the veteran, stood up, followed by dozens of other pensioners. Silent, staring down the shouting MPs. The noise in the chamber cuts out. The speaker adjourns the session. Cabinet resignations flood in. The illusion of control collapses entirely. The strategy of avoiding reality, of believing 99.9% of voters didn't care about their country's direction, was revealed as the greatest political miscalculation in modern history. By dawn, the fires are out. The streets are empty. But the damage is permanent. The lie is dead. The British people stood up not for a political party, but for common sense. For biology. For the veterans they left behind. For the truth they were denied. It was Britain remembering who they are. Was this an isolated explosion? Or is this the first crack in something much, much larger? If you believe truth still matters, subscribe to UK Pancakes and never look away. Thank you for watching.